Hey guys, how's it going? So my name is METALHEADxLEE, and in this video I want to just share my render settings with you guys. I know some people like to know the render settings that people use, and basically I thought I'd share mine. So I use two programs to edit my videos. In the past I've used Vegas, Sony Vegas Pro 11, and more recently I've started using Adobe Premiere Pro CS6. So basically I'll go over both programs and I'll just share my render settings. So I'll do Vegas first because that's probably the one most people use. So you can see here I've got Vegas Pro opened. I've imported just a video for Battlefield 3 that I recorded earlier. And the first thing I'll always do on Vegas, now I haven't used Vegas for a while, so if I forget something I'll put an annotation or I'll put some text up on screen to let you guys know. But the first thing that I always do is go to Properties and click Disable Resample. So this will make the video come out a lot smoother. If you don't select this, then your video will have ghosting in it, and basically what that is, it kind of blends frames together and it makes it very hard to watch. And I know I've seen a lot of YouTubers on there, like I guess smaller channels who guys are getting started, that don't do this, and it really makes the video hard to watch. But so select that and your video will look far better when you come to render it. So I'll show you my project video properties. So we can see here, this is the custom template. It's pretty standard. My videos are all in 1080p, so the width is 1920 by 1080. Field order is non-progressive scan. I recommend this because this is what YouTube supports best. Pixel aspect ratio is 1.000 square. Output rotation is 0. That's pretty standard. Frame rate is 29.97. That's pretty standard for YouTube. YouTube only supports, I think, up to 30 or 29.97, so there's really no point in rendering any more than that. 3D is off because I don't render in 3D. Pixel format is 8-bit. You can change this if you want. It takes longer to render 32-bit. I really don't see that much of a difference, and 8-bit is a lot faster rendering, so I just leave it at that. Can't change that when you're in 8-bit. Full resolution rendering quality is best, obviously, because I want the best quality. Motion blur is Gaussian. This just looks the best for me. You can experiment with the different types if you want. A lot of people use this. Deinterlace method is none because my footage isn't interlaced. And that's pretty much it. Audio is stereo, 48 hertz is the sample rate, 16-bit. Depth, resample quality is best, is again. And I don't think this really matters, any of this stuff. So that's really that. So that's really all I do. In terms of color correction, I really don't do that much, to be honest, unless it's Battlefield or something, or Call of Duty. I actually, as I said, it's been a while since I've used any of this in Vegas. I'm using a Premiere now, so I don't know if I have any things here set up. So I don't think I actually do. But anyway, that's really all. You can mess around with color correction yourself. There's probably thousands of videos on YouTube already for that. So I'll show you my render settings. So I usually use Sony AVC. It's the one I've just found the best. You can use main concept or you can use WMV, but I just find main concept, or sorry, Sony AVC is the best quality, and the file size is kind of in the middle of the other two. So I've got this template here. It's basically video format is AVC, custom frame size, so I set it to 1920 by 1080. Deselect allow you to just frame size. Profile is high, as this is what works best on YouTube, and you can't change that actually. Entropping coding is KBAC, that means constant bitrate, so whatever you set it to, it'll encode at that bitrate. Frame rate, again, 29.97, just match your project properties. Deselect allow you to adjust frame rate. Field order, non-progressive scan, again matching your project settings. Pixel aspect is 1.0 or 1.0, sorry, it doesn't matter. Bitrate, I usually render at 16. I did render in the past few months at 15. 16, it doesn't really matter, it's a little bit bigger size and a little higher quality, but you don't really notice it too much, so 15 is good. If you want lower than that, I'd recommend not going any lower than 10. I think YouTube at the minute are still at 8 megabits, although I think they are soon upgrading to a lot higher, so it'll make sense in the future when your videos are up that they're highest quality as possible. Encode mode is automatic, you can change this yourself. If you've got a good GPU, then use both. I've got a GTX 580, so it helps me if I do both, speeds it up. Audio is pretty much the same as before. AAC 48 for the sample rate, 128 for the bit rate, and stereo again. System is MP4 file. Project is best, and stereo 3D mode is use project settings. You can turn it off if you want, but that's basically it. That'll render as MP4, then I'll just upload to YouTube. That's pretty much what I use for that. So let's just close this down. I don't want to save. So I'll switch over to Adobe Premiere. So here's a video that I rendered and exported, I think a couple of days ago. It's some Skyrim. And basically you can see here all the editing I do. So we've got here my watermark, which you can see here in this corner, if you can see that. And we'll just show you that for a minute. So this is my watermark, it just goes in the corner. So I used Premiere for a while now. I actually prefer it a lot more over Vegas. It's hard to get into at the start, but once you get used to some of the things, it's actually really nice to use. So I record with Dxtory for all my PC games. So basically what you need to do with Dxtory is you just drop the file in, and then you need to go and find the file in your folders, and you need to right click and click extract audio stream, and this will give you 2 audio files, and basically you need to drag in your commentary in over that, because Adobe Premiere doesn't support multiple audio streams. So that's basically what I do there. I resize the watermark, as I said, down to the corner. The video I don't really touch, to be honest. Game audio I may adjust for some games. For Skyrim it's pretty much default, I leave it at 0. And then for my own commentary I add some compressor. So on Premiere I add dynamics. Basically what this is, it's a few things. I put a gate on, which basically, if you don't know what a gate is, it basically mutes the mic when it goes below a certain decibel. So when I have it set, if it goes below 46 decibels, then the mic will cut off. So that kind of cuts out some of the low background noise. You know, if my chair squeaks or something, then it'll minimize that a little bit. So that's basically that. You can adjust that so you get all your voice in. The next is the compressor, and this kind of gives more depth to your voice. It makes your voice sound nicer for me, I guess. It gives it a little more deeper sound. It makes it more clear and a little bit louder. So what I do in this, it's usually I mess around depending on the video. It's usually, I have this preset, it's usually at around 11.09 for the threshold. Ratio is usually around 2 to 3. You can adjust that. I usually wouldn't go more than 3. And then the makeup is 3.28. I usually bump that up to 4 sometimes as well, depending on the game. That basically, it adds some volume to you. That's basically all I do for that. Then I'll add my intro. Let's just go to the start here. We'll zoom in a little bit. So for the intro, I just drop my intro in, and this you can see there, and then I'll just fade in my video. You can see there, you use a little pen to it and fade it in, but this isn't a tutorial for Premiere, so you want to know my render settings. So we'll go up to here and we'll click export. So media. So I've got a template for this as well. It is the H.264 codec or format, whichever you want to call it. And basically the template I used at the start was the YouTube template. So a Premiere comes with a lot of useful templates. So I think it was YouTube HD 1080p 29.97. So if you want to use the same template as me, then use that. Then I basically have a custom one now, which I've changed a few things in, so I'll go into that. So you can see here, my settings, filters will do first. There's pretty nothing there, I've left that the way it is. Video is 1920 by 1080. 29.97 for frame rate, progressive field order, 1.0 for square pixels, NTSC, sorry if I could speak. Profile is high levels, 4.0, I've just left that pretty much the same. And render at maximum depth, so that gives you the best quality. Bitrate, encoding mode is CBR, that's constant bitrate. And on this I leave it at 15, I find that's just the best. Again, you can experiment with that if you want, you can add a little bit, you can take away a little bit. Again, I wouldn't recommend going below 10. Frame distance is 90, I haven't really experimented with that too much, but that's what I use. Audio is pretty much the same as Vegas, AAC, 48 Hertz for sample rate, stereo. I think that's everything. Audio quality is high. Bit rate is 320, which is a little bit higher, and I've got it set for bit rate. And that's really it. You can go over here, multiplexer. MP4 is what it comes out at, and stream compatibility is standard. That means it streams on places like YouTube a lot better. FTP, I don't really know what that means, but it doesn't really do anything. So that's really it for my render settings and export settings. I'll just export that then and obviously upload it to YouTube. And this is what I found the best quality for me and for my videos. These videos are all PC videos. I use the Elgato for console stuff. I use Dxtory for any PC stuff, so it records very high very high bit rate. So I find 15 is a good balance between that. But yeah, if you guys have any questions about bitrate, what programs or what settings you should use, if you want any more info on this, then just leave a comment or send me a message either here on YouTube or on Twitter or Facebook, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just wanted to share my render and export settings, as I do know a lot of people like to see them. So anyway guys, I'm METALHEADxLEE, and I hope you stay tuned for more videos from me in the future. So bye!